Waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch Transformers review, official Transformers review. And today on the table, we are going to be taking a look at something of the mainline nature from the Studio Series collection. We'll be looking at concept art SUNSTREAKER, as he was to appear in the Transformers Bumblebee movie from 2018. And being a mainline figure, of course, this is applied by good friend and massive supporter of the channel, JJ. He has been on a massive haul lately, and this is just one of his many figures from his recent pile of loot, and he has lent it to me to take a look at, and I am totally grateful. So we're going to get right into it, but first we're going to take a look at the box. Let's take a look, and of course we have a nice animation of SUNSTREAKER on it. It is concept art SUNSTREAKER Studio Series number 111 from the Bumblebee movie, Takara, Tommy, and Transformers. On the top, Transformers Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie. On the side, we have, of course, a nice little kind of reformatting image of SUNSTREAKER, reformatting, and of course, authentic Transformers, as we know you have to specify. And then, of course, we have all the things this toy does on the back. Robot mode, we got vehicle mode, it transforms in 19 steps, and it gets a nice little display base, and you can read the little caption on there as well, if you so desire. And then, of course, we have a nice shot of SUNSTREAKER on the side, Studio Series number 111, with the Lego Mumbo Jumbo on the bottom. And we also have his instruction booklet, where you have a nice shot of SUNSTREAKER on there, concept art SUNSTREAKER, and you can see overall it's a pretty fairly simple transformation. All the things that this figure does right all there, so very small little instructions for a very simple bot, and that is about it. So let's waste no time and get right into Mr. SUNSTREAKER. And overall, this is a pretty cool little bot. I say little because, let me get a scale measurement. This guy is roughly only about 5 inches or so, just a little above to the top of his shoulders. So he is not all that big, but no less detailed. If you can look at the head, of course, it is a very nicely done head sculpt, painted in silver, tons of molded detail. Got a nice blue in there for the eyes, and you got his signature little yellow ears looking really good. Clear blue plastic for the chest, and an Autobot symbol right front and center. It is kind of tiny though, and this whole cockpit canopy is painted. It does look very good, very vibrant. In fact, you got orange paint on the shoulders. It's all over yellow molded plastic. Same thing with the thighs. You got the shins here. You got some silver detail painted in as well with the orange. You got some silver on the boots, which is really nice, and some little bit of silver on his belly, and again, loaded with molded detail. This guy all around, even like in the thigh area here, you can see the molded detail. He does have some waffles in the thighs, by the way, and if we move him around, we can see in the back. Back is clean for the most part. He does have a little bit of gaps in his forearms, but you can see some molded detail on the upper back here. Same thing moving down to his butt area, and the legs tuck in really nicely. You got this clear blue for what will become his wheels. Same thing for the shoulders. That does look very good. Kind of adds a lot of pop to this guy. So lots of clear plastic. Kind of has almost a premium feel, and I do dig it quite a lot. As far as articulation goes, the head can look up a little bit, but of course the activate transformation joint, it can look up quite a lot. He can barely look down. These shoulders, if you activate the transformation joint, they can kind of move however you want them, but it will inhibit the moving on the shoulder. It can move in just a little bit. Actually, it can move up a lot like that. You can go all the way around at the shoulder joint. He does have a rotation at the elbow, and then of course he gets you straight up 90 with the elbow, no more than it. Nothing at the wrist. Moving up the arms out of the way, he can get you a nice waist swivel. And if we kick out the legs, he can get you just shy of a fusion kick, and then all the way back he can get you a massive fusion kick just like that. And then of course he can go out to the side, and we'll give him the fusion kick right there. It has a nice thigh swivel that works well. It's on a mushroom peg, and I kind of like how it rotates around the thigh piece. And then of course he can get you 90 at the knee like that, and the foot can go all the way up due to transformation, but of course it can go it can tilt the slightest of angle tilt to the inside, and that is about it for all his articulation. And lastly but not least, he does come with a couple accessories, just two, and we'll bring the camera down just real quick. It comes with these two guns. They are nicely detailed and molded in just kind of a charcoal plastic. No paint on them at all. You see the barrel detailing done very nicely, and you can see on the bottom they are both pretty much hollow on the inside, but it is a mainline, so what do you want? And of course they have this 3mm port. You can just kind of plug them into the hands just like this. Same thing for the other one. It's moving all around on me just like that, and he can deal out his own sense of Decepticon butt-kicking justice. But of course, you do have a few other options with these guns as well. They do have these tabs on the inside, and you can see you got a little slot here, and you can just kind of tab them together just like this. And you could put this in his hand, and he could actually kind of have a quadruple gunner, as ridiculous as that looks. But you can also store it in this format as well. Just using the 3mm ports. You can see on his back he has two 3mm ports here, and what you can do is you just kind of plug them in there. That actually looks really good. In the G1, you know, he had his rocket pack, and this actually does a really good kind of sub in as his rocket pack. It kind of looks oh, hold on, had it plugged in. There we go. This kind of gives him that rocket pack kind of look. So really nice how they kind of gave him a little bit of a G1 look there. And then of course, we can do some quick comparisons before we move on, and we will bring in our typical means of comparison. We'll bring in SS86 Hot Rod right there, so you can see how that looks. And Hot Rod is roughly about an inch taller, but of course, Hot Rod, I believe, is a Voyager class, I'm guessing, versus a Deluxe class right here. I'm still getting all the classes down. And then if we take Hot Rod out, we will bring in our leader class, Concept Megatron, which we still have in our possession from JJ, and he just towers over Sunstreaker. In fact, this is probably the guy that says Megatron says, "No, I want two." But there we go, and you can see how that looks out. And lastly but not least, we do have our display base as well. This is part of the box, but of course it basically is a Cybertron City Street. Looks really nice, has some kind of lights in the background. You can just kind of set him up there, and again, just an extra display option should you decide to use it, though it is kind of a bit cumbersome to put on a shelf, especially if you have quite a lot of bots. And that is pretty much it for the robot mode, so we can transform him up into his alternate mode. So let's get Concept Sunstreaker transforming up into his alt mode. It's very cool looking alt mode, and we're going to give this a shot, and this is a relatively straightforward and simple transformation. So first things first, bring the foot up just like this. You're going to rotate it inward at the thigh, so his boots facing inward. And then what you want to do is, this operates on a hinge and a swivel. It's got a tab right here. You have a little slot right here. You're just going to kind of bring it in just like this, and you're just going to kind of combine this right here just like that, and you can see it basically forms up the front of the car. You're gonna do the same thing on the right leg, and I'm gonna do it off camera. I'll be right back. So now it's kind of looking like this, and you have a little tab right here. It's gonna go into a slot right in. You're just gonna basically combine his feet together just like that. And then what you wanna do is you're gonna move on to the arms. Now his arms have a few different functions. So you're gonna bring this out just like this. You're gonna bring this up just like this, and you really want this to kind of complete the contour right here. And what you're gonna do is you're going to bring this all the way out, and you have a little tab that goes right into a slot right in here, so you're going to kind of combine that together and just make it all one cohesive piece. And then you have a little tab slot right here that's going to go into that's going to combine with the tab right here, and you may have to kind of orient the arm to get that correct. And then what you want to do is you have a little slot right here. It's going to go into right on a tab right here. You just kind of have to kind of position him to the point where it just kind of looks like one cohesive piece. This might come down as well, just like that, but you want it kind of looking like basically a whole side of the car, just like that, all tabbed in and whatnot. And it's going to be the same thing on this side. I'll do it off camera. So now you can see him kind of filling himself out. And what you want to do is you want to bring out the cockpit just like this, and you just want to kind of pull it out. It operates on a hinge system right here, and right up here. And you want to make sure the cockpit is extended all the way out, because what you're going to do is you're going to bring out the two little side panels that extend all the way out, because you want them to be one cohesive piece. Same thing with the other side right here. And you just want to make sure this is all the way out so they can come all the way out. You have two tabs right along here, and they're going to go into here, and then these 2 tabs are going to end up inside the window. So what you want to do is you want to bring this all the way down and just kind of bring it together, and it's going to form the front of the car. And you can see how this all kind of lines up along the other side and forms everything, kind of fills itself in. Next, what you want to do is you want to take the head, you're going to fold it in just like this, and then you can take off this back piece. It just tabs in 2 tabs right into slots right back here. You're going to fold it in. It's going to form basically the whole back of the car just like this. And then you want to kind of hold the arms together because you're going to move the shoulder pads up on this hinge right here. You can see you got a slot right here, you got a tab right here. You're going to push this one in, and you're just going to kind of bring them both together just like this to form the back of the car. And like magic, there is Concept Sunstreaker in his alt mode. And let's take a look at that alt mode. He's basically a space Lamborghini, and I quite like it. It looks really good. The front end, it's painted up really nicely. Got some black, some blues, along with the orange. Even got the girl right here. This is kind of done up like side swipes from Dark of the Moon and Revenge of the Fallen. It kind of has that Centennial Corvette front end, but I also kind of see a little bit of Lamborghini Gallardo in here, and maybe a little bit of Sesto Elemento. It's kind of cool. I just kind of added a few different elements. Of course, you're treated to more clear blue plastic in the side windows. Looks really good. The only thing kind of looks unsightly is the clashing of the yellow paint and the molded yellow paint. I'm sorry, the molded yellow plastic. But again, this is something that the War for Cybertron kind of suffered with. You do have the back kind of done up. It does have the fins. It looks really good. Again, more kind of black detailing going down. The back end of the car really comes together really well, and it is done on these plastic blue light tires, I guess. And it will roll. It doesn't roll as well on my table, but it will roll, take my word for it. And it's basically him laying down on the bottom, but he does hide itself very well. And in fact, I kind of like how the black kind of hides itself in here, because, I mean, on a normal Lamborghini, that's where the motor would be. And I guess on a space Lamborghini, that's, I guess, the same thing. But yeah, and no, overall, a really solid vehicle mode. As far as your weapon storage, there are a couple ways to store his gun. So the first is using the 3mm port, and what you can do is you have these ports on the back here, and you can just kind of plug those in right along here. Same thing with the other side, you just plug that in. And again, I actually don't mind this being a Cybertronian mode. It doesn't look as intrusive as it should be. It's actually really pretty overall ingenious. I do quite like it. But of course, the way that I like is you can of course combine his guns yet again, and you'll notice you have 2 tabs right here. You have 2 slots right in here, and you can basically just kind of put those in like this. And the thing I like about this is this kind of acts as his superchargers that he had in his G1 mode, which does look really, really cool. In fact, if I were displaying in vehicle mode, this is how I do it. And again, I got to give kudos to a really neat way to display weapons in alt mode. And for some quick comparisons before we move on, there he is, of course, with SS86 Hot Rod. And again, 2 Cybertronian sports cars. I think they do rather well with one another. Obviously, one looks a bit live action movie futuristic, one looks animated futuristic, and then of course let's get him in there with his other concept buddy, Mr. Megatron, who still just towers over him. Poor Sunstreaker, of course. But that is going to be about it for our comparisons. So that is pretty much it for his vehicle mode. And let's summarize on Transformers Studio Series concept art Sunstreaker as he would have been seen in the Bumblebee movie from 2018. And overall, this is a really solid figure given the price point. I absolutely love the paint apps on both modes. I think he's got loads of clear plastic to give that nice kind of a little bit of a premium touch, loaded with molded detail, which is just absolutely impressive given the size of this guy. And he comes with just the accessories that he needs. They do look good in both modes. Speaking of both modes, transformation is pretty much a breeze, and the alt mode looks absolutely spectacular. A space Lamborghini, what more could you want? And I definitely do recommend this figure. I'll put a link to Big Bad Toy Store if I do find him there, and you can pick him up from there. Of course, you can do what JJ does and just simply go and do the hunting in the retail stores. This is where this guy should be showing up. And of course, thank you to JJ for supplying this figure, so you guys know what to do at this point. If you found this video fun and informative, let me know by hitting that like button down below. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I urge you to consider subscribing. I do Transformers reviews quite regularly, both third-party and official alike, and I do mostly Masterpiece, but I am starting to branch out into mainline with JJ's help, so you'll definitely want to check that out. I'll put a link to my mainline playlist down below, and that is pretty much going to cover it. I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.